5, 4, 3, 2, 1, take prop turns.
Good evening and welcome to the July edition of Hempfield Happenings. I'm Mark Perry. We start this month with a landmark from the community. The Herr Park here in Landisville is finding new life, and Nathan Lee discovered what changes are being made to the park.
Herr Park. Something residents of Landisville will always remember, but now the 2-decade-old park will become a dream for many generations to come.
We are rebuilding the playground that originally was built about 25 years ago. It was a wooden playground that was built by the community, but unfortunately has been getting old and we're not able to maintain it safely anymore.
Phase 1 of the Dream Park, including this bridge, was completed late last year. Phase 2 is set to start late this September.
The new playground is going to be handicap accessible so that kids of all abilities can enjoy it. It will be about the same size, but it will include many new features that we didn't have before, including a zip line and a water feature, numerous slides, and of course the swings and seesaws that we're accustomed to. It will also include a walking trail that will go around half of the park, and so this project will benefit not just the kids in the community, but also adults and people that want to walk their dogs or just walk for fitness as well.
I'm really excited about the new Dream Park because I hear there are going to be a lot of new features to the park that weren't there when I was a kid and I played on the playground, and I think it's just going to be a lot of fun for the younger generation.
I think it was the right thing to do to tear it down. As far as the plans to replace it, I haven't seen, I've heard about them, but I haven't seen them. I understand it includes a water feature and a lot of other special items.
So the overall budget for the entire project is $485,000. And we have raised $462,000 of that, so we're well on our way. Some of that has come from a grant from the Department of Conservation and Natural Resources, from the township, and then the rest from businesses and members of the community.
It's sad that the old wooden park was torn down because I used to go there as a child all the time, but I think it's for the best because it's a lot safer now.
We expect people in the Hempfield community to use it, but we also expect people to come from surrounding communities because it's going to be pretty cool. And we are going to see some kind of rejuvenation of the park.
It's a great idea to keep the kids entertained in a safe and healthy manner. And I think it's in an area that is not going to really impact the traffic significantly.
For continued support, visit easthempfield.org for more information and to sign up to volunteer for this fall's big build. For Hempfield Happenings, I'm Nathan Lead.
A former Hempfield student leads the local fight against Chiari and Michaela. Michaela Quinn has information on what you can do to help this summer.
The Chiari and Amelia Foundation hosts the United Night Walk every year, raising money and awareness for the cause. A graduate from Hempfield who has experienced the complications of Chiari explains the effects that it has on you.
Chiari malformation is basically your brain is coming out of your skull. Your skull is deformed, it's a birth defect, and there's not enough room, so your brain is pushing down on your brain stem. It's coming out of your skull. It can affect your CSF flow of your spinal cord, so therefore you're not getting your CSF flow, so you're having a lot of neurological symptoms because of that. And Amelia is a cyst that will form like a benign tumor in the spinal cord. They don't really know why it forms. They don't have a lot of treatments for it. Chiari, there's only treatments, there's no cure, and it can restore some function. It's not guaranteed.
Elizabeth was very excited to join the United Night team.
On a support group online, I found there was a woman saying, hey, we're hosting these walks. It's really easy. We need people to sign up at different locations. We're trying to get so many around the U.S. to raise so much money. So I was like, well, I'm going to be recovering from brain surgery. Why don't I do some good for it? So I signed up to do it. I had no idea what it entailed, and I knew nobody else locally that had Chiari. So I thought, well, maybe I'll meet somebody locally or something and be able to connect that way.
Come to the United Night Walk on Friday, August 5th at 6 p.m. at the Manheim Township Community Park to support the Chiari and Singer Amelia Foundation. From Hempfield Happenings, I'm Michaela Quinn.
The transition from middle school to high school is one that all students face. MJ Alfonso spoke to 8th grade students about how they are preparing for the changes.
Around this time of year, many students start to think about the transition from the middle school and high school. Thankfully, our teachers and counselors are helping to prepare the students.
For the transition from 8 to 9, we started out with a presentation by Ms. DaCosta and Mr. Bentley regarding scheduling. Because really that's what starts it off when you start thinking, okay, what's the next step, what I need to be doing. So we have the original assembly with Mr. Bentley and Ms. DaCosta, then one lesson for course scheduling, and then we finish it with another lesson for course scheduling. So it's three points in a row. It's more the focus of how do you get from point A to point B? How do you figure out what classes you actually need? How many credits do you need to graduate? All those types of things.
I think more the teachers and the counselors, I mean, they're there if you need them, but you always see the teachers every day, so they help out a lot. We're a lot harder, and you need to be like more focused. I mean, I think we'll be fine. We'll adapt well to the high school, but our grade, I mean, we'll be okay.
And we do a presentation just on understanding the curriculum guide, understanding like how the high school is set up differently than the middle school, and we talk about course selection. We've heard from students that it helps like ease their anxiety a little bit, gives them some more information, to try to have a lot of communication with them. So we have monthly 9th grade academy meetings. We're happy with it. It feels purposeful, so it's good. It's all about getting a good foundation.
Yeah, like the counselors along with the teachers like helped us, like worked with us to like make sure we know what we're getting into. I was afraid that classes were going to be very hard and that I wasn't going to have a lot of time to like study, play basketball, and do all the things that I wanted to do.
Thanks to our staff, middle school students are now more prepared for the high school. For Hempfield Happenings, I'm MJ Alfonso.
8th graders are not the only ones going through a transition. Centerville Elementary School's principal is heading into retirement. Nathan Lead heard about Mrs. Baer's plans for the future.
After many years, Mrs. Janet Baer, the principal of Centerville Elementary School, will be retiring. Although she's been principal, she had a different career in mind.
My background's special education, and I had thought about going into supervisory of special education, and there was an unfortunate circumstance in which there was a loss of a principal in Lancaster City where I taught, and at that time they asked if I would help out in the building. Through that, a few people convinced me that I should be a principal, so I went back to school and here I am. I feel like I was so fortunate to be chosen to do this job, so I feel like the people are what makes Centerville what it is.
A principal's job requires working with many people, and Mrs. Baer has created many relationships with teachers at Centerville.
My favorite part of having Mrs. Baer as our principal has been seeing her interact with parents and family and students and teachers, and seeing her work with our PTO and our families just as easily as she works with 5-year-olds has been great.
She always has such strong connections with our students and with our staff. Just working with her and seeing is that she always puts the students first and the staff. She will drop anything if it's an immediate student need. She'll rearrange her schedule. She'll make the students her priority.
I love to be with the kids. I love to be in the classrooms, not in my office. Being here 12 years, I've also seen many start in kindergarten and graduate from high school. And just being able to see that growth is so exciting.
Not only are relationships with teachers important, but knowing students is important as well.
She is kind. She's very thoughtful. She always, it was always us first, not her. She goes and looks inside of the classes to see how we're doing.
She was really thoughtful. She will be missed a lot.
It's mixed emotions. It's very mixed. It'll give me the opportunities to spend more time with my family. So I'm liking the idea of not having a specific schedule, and grateful to every staff member I've ever worked with here at Centerville, because they've made it a wonderful place for me to work and to collaborate, and I'll miss them all.
At Centerville Elementary School, Mrs. Baer will be missed by many, but we wish her the best in her retirement. For Hempfield Happenings, I'm Nathan Lead.
From freshman year to senior year, students' viewpoints are impacted by a variety of experiences. Sarah Moser talked with freshmen and seniors to discover what advice they might have for each other.
With the school year finally coming to a close, I prompted some seniors and freshmen to answer some questions and see how their answers differed.
What's some advice you have for seniors?
Definitely focus on your schoolwork.
Don't spend too much money on ramen.
Just study in college. Don't spend all your money on food.
Go with your first instinct.
What's some advice you have for freshmen?
Do everything your teacher says and pass all your classes.
Don't procrastinate on your research paper.
Take a bunch of art classes. They're really great.
To not stop in the middle of the hallways and walk on the right side.
If you could eat dinner with anyone, living or dead, who would it be?
Tyler Oakley because he's Queen.
Stana Caddick. Luke Hemmings because he's really hot.
Patrick Dempsey.
Jennifer Lawrence because we both love pizza.
Marilyn Monroe because she's such a big icon.
Nelson Mandela.
Adam Levine because I love watching The Voice.
What are your plans after high school graduation?
I would like to go to a college somewhere down south.
Go to college.
I want to go to college. I actually have no idea what I want to do.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what I want to do after high school.
I'm going to Kutztown University for early education. I'm going to Shippensburg University.
Attend Millersville University and major in social work.
As for me, I will be attending Eastern University and majoring in middle education. So don't worry about the future, because it's not as scary as it may seem. Signing off for the last time from Hempfield Happenings, I'm Sarah Moser.
I'm Matt Bender, the teacher of the CommTech program here at Hempfield High School, and I'm with our host, Mark Perry, who is one of our seniors. And he's joined by two other seniors in our program, Christopher Lynch and Michaela Quinn. And it's a tradition for us to interview the seniors before they leave our program. And so, Mark, we'll start with you and we'll get all of your answers. Why did you sign up for CommTech? I just always enjoyed using video to communicate stories and tell ideas and stuff like that. And so I took every advantage I could to hop in.
Well, I came from a private elementary school, so I actually got the last pick of classes. So it was not intentional for me. And I thought it was just going to be freshman year to fill that elective, but then I ended up falling in love with it and continuing.
And Chris, you wouldn't be the first person where that's happened to them. Michaela, how about you?
Well, I started doing film in 8th grade with the WLMS, and we did the news show there, and then I just continued it into high school and ended up really liking it a lot, and still here.
Yeah, well, we actually have now 7 classes in our CommTech program here, and after you took the first one, which was like an introductory course, you then went on to the morning show, and then after that, you stuck with it in the Hempfield Happenings. What made you stay with the program?
Well, for me, I wasn't able to get in until junior year due to the music classes I was in. But then I took that first one, it was kind of an intro, and then it just seemed to get bigger and better every year, so I wanted to do more.
I fell in love with the editing and behind the camera aspect of it, so I wanted to keep learning new skills and things to learn.
I always thought this class was a lot different than everything else because I got to express like my own ideas, and we had a lot of freedom and we could do our own thing, and it wasn't like telling us what to do.
Yeah, it's definitely a different kind of a class here, and obviously now you're graduating seniors. What are your plans for next year?
I'm planning to kind of do something very similar to this. I'm going to Stevenson University for their film and moving image degree, so I guess it's a little different than the broadcast side, but similar stuff.
I'm going to Temple University and majoring in theater and directing.
I'm not going to college next year. I'm taking a year off, and then after that, I'm going to go to school for cinematography.
Well, this class is a lot of work, and I want to say thank you for all the hard work that you've given us over the past couple years. And the senior class has received numerous awards, actually, even on the national level. And Chris, you have a little feature about that?
Yeah, I just talk all about the different awards we've won throughout this year, and also some national honors that we were given as well.
Okay, so here's Chris's story.
3, 2, 1. This year I put an application in to be in the Student Television Network Honor Society. It's a national honor society for film and broadcast high school students.
Jackie was inducted by the Student Television Network as an honor student, and there have only been 4 of those in the state of Pennsylvania. Jackie is the second from Hempfield. To be inducted in the STN Honor Society, you have to excel in the field of communications, you have to volunteer in a communications environment. What Jackie did was she volunteered for our elementary school broadcasting camp, and you also have to attend one of the STN conventions or competitions.
I got involved in Comtech in the 7th grade. I was a part of the WCMS crew, and from there on I just wanted to be in Comtech in the high school.
In addition to this, Hempfield's Comtech program has won some other national awards and honors.
Last year, Hempfield Happenings was recognized as the top news magazine program made by students in the East Coast. In 2015, Hempfield Happenings was nominated for a High School Video Award, and Gretchen Hopkirk received the Kraft Award for the Best News Talent. Last year, Chris Detweiler, a senior this year, won second in the broadcast writing competition at STN. This year, some of our students won 3rd place in the music video competition down in Atlanta. Gretchen Hopkirk and Laurel Murr won the All-American High School Video Festival for a School Spirit Award. And recently, our current Hempfield Happenings opening was recognized with an honorable mention nationally. Gretchen Hopkirk also was the other STN Honor Society inductee.
The National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences nominated 8 of our students' work, awarding MJ Alfonso with the High School Video Light News Award.
I've always told the students it's not about winning the awards, it's making sure that they do the best they can. And I consider myself so lucky to be in a position where I work with students who seem to take pride in their work. The students in the Comtech program have come to expect excellence and success. I think the older students expect a high level of hard work from the younger students, and I think that carries over from generation to generation.
Hempfield has a very special program, giving students multiple opportunities.
Hempfield's unique and different because we have 7 different communications classes that you can take. And it ranges anywhere from producing a daily live show to working independently on films to working in public relations. And students here get a real broad range of experience before they go to college.
I love Comtech because I love video making, I love the creative outlet it gives me, and every single day, even if it's challenging, I look forward to doing it, so I love it.
I, for one, am very grateful to the Comtech program for all that it's done for me. For Hempfield Happenings, for the final time, I'm Christopher Lynch.
As we close out the July episode of Hempfield Happenings, we are going to reflect back on the contributions of the senior class. Commencement was held at Franklin Marshall College on June 6th. We'll end this program looking back at the 2016 commencement ceremony, and I hope you join us next month as our student journalists report from the city of Atlanta, Georgia. Until then, have a great summer.
I encourage each of you to call on the people in your life who love and care about you, and I challenge you to be that Superman for others, as we all need encouragement and support as we walk our life paths. And please remember, Hempfield will always be your home. We're only one call away. So thank you, Hempfield High School class of 2016. You've made us proud during your school career, and our school community is a better place because of your efforts and contributions. We anxiously await hearing about your future experiences and your efforts to save the day. Thank you.
Today is the day we start to learn on a much broader scale. We will spread out far and wide in pursuit of our own individual path, but we will still remain a part of this successful legacy by remembering those who have helped ensure that we are prepared for the future.
A pumpkin that grows in a glass jug will never reach its full potential because it can only grow to the predetermined size of the container. Our lives are like that. If one day you feel that your life has not reached its full potential, it's because you have chosen to stop and not grow any further. However, at the same time, you also have the ability to break that glass, break through those limitations and begin to grow again. That's the beauty about this moment in our lives. We are at that age where we can continue to grow or start over again, where we can learn and change and make this brave new world ours.
Charles Dickens knows, it was the best of times and the worst of times. High school was sometimes wacky. We went through years of teenage angst, not to mention facial acne. As seniors, we've noticed quite some change. We feel more independent. We bid Dr. Stout farewell and welcomed our new superintendent. We've seen a lot now that we're seniors, like Keystones and PSSAs. Remember when we had 6 minutes in the halls? Oh, those were the glory days. Our class has athletes, artists, and more. We're hardworking and active. This group of seniors is the best, and by far, the most attractive. Right here, right now, we celebrate and cherish our school days, but soon we'll part and be what seems like many worlds away. Some of us will go to school, and others will start their careers. We'll explore the world and make mistakes and learn throughout the years. We'll live to learn and learn to live. Our lives will prove this so. The memories Hempfield leaves us with will guide us as we grow. Though now it's time to venture forth through many doors ahead, our hearts and minds will always treasure the black, white, and red. Congrats, guys.
Freshman year, we learned that walking to the Franklin side for any reason, at any time, was the most terrifying experience. Sophomore year, we learned that there was not a pool on the 3rd floor. Junior year, we learned that at 16 or 17 years old, we had to begin to make adult choices for our futures, and that was also terrifying. Senior year, we learned about what I call the tough decisions. Tough decisions if you want to go to a 4-year college, serve in our nation's armed forces, or jump right into the workforce. Tough decisions about if we could actually graduate without doubting ourselves and our futures. But our learning wasn't limited to the experiences we may have had. It was ever since our first step into a Hempfield classroom that our teachers influenced the paths we will begin to follow. We learned from our English teachers the use of adjectives and nouns. Our math teachers taught us that 2 + 2 = 4 and how that applies in our lives to come. Our science teachers explained to us the fundamentals of life right underneath a microscope. And our history teachers taught us of the world's mistakes, so when we are the leaders of our generation, we wouldn't repeat them. As we graduate today, our next step is to take what we have learned from Hempfield and live our lives from these lessons. In conclusion, our teachers have taught us how life and the world work, and now we will live with this knowledge and learn to become the next generation of doctors, artists, educators, and dreamers. Although we will be living our lives in different paths, we will remember what we were taught, what we learned, and where it all began, with Hempfield. We will learn to live, and from this moment on, we will live to learn. Thank you.
Now I ask you, take a look around, graduates. Take a look in the mirror tomorrow morning. What do you see? What do others see when they look at you? I can tell you what they're going to see. They're going to see David, the young, unprepared, inexperienced boy or girl who has no chance against the Goliaths that stand in your way. They see you losing battles. They see you taking on challenges you are not prepared for. How could you be? You're little, you're weak, you have no experience, you're doomed. But we know something they don't know. Until today, it's been our little secret. But after today, your world is going to know for sure. It's not going to be a secret anymore. You are prepared. You are ready. You've answered the lions and tigers and bears that have crossed your paths, and you're ready to move on and face Goliath. Show no fear because you're ready. And this is what I want you to do. Every time you look in the mirror, for as long as you can remember this day, don't stop looking until you see yourself as David. But don't stop there. We know what people thought when they just saw David. Seeing is not enough. Don't just see David, but be David. Look out, world, because here comes the Hempfield graduating class of 2016. No underdogs, just giant killers. Congratulations, class.
Emily Schaefer Moser.
Evan Michael Brown.
Sawyer Joseph Eisenhower.
Allegra Dawn Banks.
Odalise Andino Castro.
Nathaniel Owen Herr.
Nicholas Eric Kaufman.
Ashley Marie Steiner.
Phoebe Beth Whitmer.
Brant D. Magalon.
Christopher Alexander Cosmella.
Megan Allison Muller.
Aaron Noel Duboski.
Jonathan William Lutz.
Adam Tyler Bachman.
Candace Hongjong Lee.
Mara Linnell Bramlett.
Aiden Paul Miller.
Thomas Jordan Morelia.
Abigail Victoria Churkin.
Sarah Noel Farney.
Christopher Youssef.
Bryce Matthew Fury.
Olivia Ray Begrowitz.
Kayla Ann Fuller.
The reason you can tell I'm a student is that I watched 6 episodes of Parks and Recreation on Netflix between the end of practice earlier today and now. Unfortunately, my addiction to binging Netflix in sweatpants probably won't change soon. But we have all changed through our years in high school. Change is one of the weirdest things about life. Everybody hates it, but we've been dealing with it our whole lives. When I hear that 4 years ago my #1 career match was stuntman, I laugh out loud. But you all have changed as well. I don't think any one of us wore a red or black gown with a weird hat on the first day of high school. Change, as much as we loathe it, is something to welcome with open arms. Change can make our lives so much more positive. Like, you always think of how you could have changed an argument in your favor 10 minutes after the argument is over. As for the future, you can change it however you want. Hempfield High School class of 2016, please stand. As for right now, I want you all to make one simple change. Please move your tassel from the right to the left. Congratulations, Hempfield High School!